What's going on Instagram? All right, we're set. Live once again. It's Wednesday, 12:30, and we're already in the midpoint here soon of March, which is nuts. As we move along, getting closer to the end of Q1. So, if you don't have, and this is the topic of today, a game plan for lead gen, man, you're behind. You're behind. We're already in the third month of the new year, and you gotta have a campaign in place. So we're going to talk about that today. It's all about lead gen. Clyda, what's going on? Caroline, yes, 100% lead gen. We talk about it all the time here. Talk about it for ourselves, talk about it for clients and the importance of it. No matter what type of business you have and what type of industry you're in, services, products, whatever it is. Keep adjusting this camera here. No matter what's going on, you need it in place. So let's get right into it. A couple of things that businesses should be considering when it comes to lead generation, right? Now, many different forms. Again, it doesn't matter. I don't care what type of business you have, what you do, services, products, whatever you have going on right now for your business, you have to have some sort of game plan in place to move that needle. How are you moving the needle? That's what it comes down to. 2024, how are you moving the needle? Because if you're not doing anything differently, how can you expect a different outcome? How can you expect anything to be different in the business if you're not changing anything, right? So, lead generation is something that will change things in your business if executed properly and if going about the right type of lead gen campaigns. Not all campaigns are built for everyone and going to lead to the success that you are looking for. However, when we speak with certain businesses, we determine what might work best for them based on their industry, what they're trying to do, like who their target audience is, what type of business they are. That's a thing too. That's important because we need to know where their audience is hanging out. How should we speak to them, right? Facebook, for example, it's not for everybody. Some people may argue that with me, whatever you want to do. But the thing is that I believe that certain channels have a place, and we make that assessment and we roll out the proper game plan for those particular businesses based on our experience and our past results, right? So let's get into some questions and let's get into some campaign ideas and some strategies. One question that came in here was explaining the process for lead gen. First, let's start with the business. Let's identify who they are, right? What industry they're in, who their ideal target audience is. Got to start there, right? Now, I'm going to have to bring it back. I always bring it back all the time when it comes to the brand, because before you get involved, I'm going to remind this to you, remind this again for you. Anytime that we discuss any sort of lead gen campaigns, we have to make sure your brand is right. Is it tuned up? Is it tuned up? Is your brand messaging in place? Is it proper? Is it speaking to the right audience? All of that good stuff. Is your online presence polished? You got to start there, right? Or you're just wasting your efforts. Let's make believe that's all done. It's all handled. You're looking good. Your messaging is correct. We assess the business and the target audience, where they might be hanging out, and then we come up with a game plan for a lead gen process. Okay, that's how it works, and I'm going to go over some of those campaign ideas with you in a minute. So that's what we do first. That's important. Identifying who your target audience is and where they might be hanging out, because Then we know what campaigns would work best. That's the thing. Not everything, is built for every single industry. We have your B2B side, we have your B2C side, right? Different strategies, okay? Question, do we specialize in certain industries? The easy answer is no, because we work with everyone, right? We cater to all different industries. We get to be very creative because we do that. We have such a diverse clientele list. We have a very diverse portfolio. It allows us to be creative in our marketing strategies. It allows us to think outside the box. You need to do that when building campaigns. You need to think outside the box. You can't be stale. You can't be doing what everybody else is doing. How can we be different, right? So that's the best way to describe that when working with industries. So, Melina, what's up? I'm going to give you a quick wave. All right. So, what's the question? Where can we get the best leads? All right. Let's break down some campaigns. This is, again, based on B2C, B2B, right? Let's say you're a B2B business and you're looking to go ahead and generate new leads from other business owners or decision makers, all right? So this is not a B2C campaign. So two campaigns immediately come to mind that scream out is email marketing and LinkedIn, okay? Email marketing still remains, probably could be the top dog, still based on statistics, as a real strong lead gen option, okay? Because you can curate lists of decision makers in industries of your choice and go ahead and market to them. Now, there is a little bit of a back and forth. There's a trial and error. There's a science to it because you have to have some patience and you got to get your content right. That's the key when it comes to email marketing. Your subject line is also very, very important. What is the hook there for someone who receives hundreds of emails a day to stop and say, what's this? Who's this guy, right? What are they talking about? What do you mean you're trying to call me, right? Like, you have to be creative, and you gotta use some tactics. It's all about leading them to that call, right? Email marketing, very, very important. LinkedIn strategies, right? We're doing them right now. It's all about making the connections, right? You need to be expanding your network. And you want to go ahead and do that several ways, but the immediate, campaign idea that comes to mind is an outreach campaign to people that you want to virtually shake hands with and introduce who you are. Now, difference between LinkedIn and perhaps another social campaign is you're doing the introduction as yourself. Okay, you're building that connection as you, right? So if you do it the right way, you're not coming off as pitchy, like you're trying to sell something. If you do it the right way, and there's different strategies when it comes to that. But again, I go back to it's highly targeted. You can go ahead and you could pinpoint decision makers in various industries that you want to connect with. Unlike a social campaign on Facebook or Instagram where you're not doing that. It's a blanket type of rollout campaign, demographics, geolocations, and it's a different style, okay? So LinkedIn. Here's a networking groups positive. Yes. All right. So that's great, Chris. Chris representing the Jersey Shore. So networking groups. Very important because you can establish your authority first. Don't go into a networking group selling shit. That's the worst thing you can do. Start pitching things. Don't do that. Go in there as a contributor. Go in there by communicating, answering posts and questions that might be posted. Get in the conversation. That's the key with networking groups. I wish I had the time to do more of that, because that's so important for being part of the community, and by, giving value, giving your voice out there, and your own ideas, and some of your own knowledge, making recommendations or sharing things. You want to do that first. What's going to happen is people in the group are going to then notice your contributions, but they're also going to notice that you're an expert in that area because of your knowledge. And then from there, you can take those conversations with certain people offline. That's the key about those networking groups, because once you establish your presence there, you can go ahead and then take the convo offline. Send them a private message and say, hey, that was a great convo that we were just talking about. This is funny you mentioned that, because this was a tactic that was taught to me 2 years ago, actually, when it comes to Facebook groups, and how people were doing business then in the DMs because of what they established. They continued the conversations over there in the DMs after they already established those conversations. And it's a friendlier then type of approach, because you can just talk about what you just we're talking about previously on that particular post. So very friendly. So good question. Great strategy. If you have the time, get involved in some groups and make the effort, get involved. Just start having, spending some time commenting on those posts and engaging. And then when you see something that could be a good fit for a connection, go ahead and take it offline. So we talked mostly about businesses, right? B2B. Let's talk about a little bit about B2C. Now you have your local businesses. Let's say, use them as an example. They're trying to target the local consumers, right? Now, one of the best tactics to being proactive, of course, is running targeted Facebook and Instagram campaigns. But you have to be creative, right? What's going to catch their attention? It comes back down now to the creative. It comes down to the ad campaign messaging. And don't sell it short. Don't have a kick-ass ad that's going to capture their attention and then send them off into some area on a website that's going to confuse people. You don't capture their information. Now they're lost. These people are lost. They don't know how did I even get here, right? So you want to continue that conversation to a targeted, to a landing page. We spoke about landing pages a couple of weeks ago and the importance of that. So, you want to continue that. You need something to capture. Think about offers too. That's another thing too. Don't just, run an ad and sign up or, whatever. Give people an incentive, create the urgency. That's another thing too. You want to go ahead and create some sort of urgency when you're running a campaign, like an act now. Hey, listen, I've been very guilty of things in the past when it comes to Facebook ads. I get all sorts of shit on my feed, and I'm buying all sorts of things like this laser flashlight that's going to burn through paper, but it lights up the world, at night. And so I don't just buy one. Oh, a 5-pack. Oh, you get a good deal. I got these 5 flashlights now. So if you do it effectively and you catch people, you can be successful. But anyway, B2C, definitely focusing on those channels, creative messaging, creative visuals, send them to somewhere that can be tracked for conversions, right? Trade shows. Chris, trade shows, great exposure. Won't deny that. You got to look good. You got to stand out. I'm a big believer, and my staff will be the first people to confirm this. When it comes to trade shows, you gotta stand out. When we used to do more trade shows, one year we actually took the best booth award on one of the expos that we were involved in. It's important. At the time when we were really marketed as a creative agency, we needed to stand out. If you're not doing it, I always felt, if you're not doing it for yourself, how can others and visitors coming by you in the trade show expect that they can do it for you, right? If I'm sitting behind a table with a tablecloth and a pamphlet, like I'm a banker, the hell am I going to do for you in the marketing area, we had a beautiful booth. We had multiple booths, actually. Lights and lasers and music and TVs and awards and games. One of our last things that we did when we celebrated our 21st anniversary, we had a champagne pong game going. Beautiful. Champagne, glasses set up, and the champagne was colored to our branding, giving away all sorts of shit, right? Good stuff, too. Yankee jerseys, Giants, and stuff. Immediate exposure, make yourself look good, stand out, give stuff away, have a gimmick. That's the thing. You know, people come around, you get those people with all the time. You get them with the bags. They come around, what do you got? What do you got? They pocket shit and they move on, right? Those are not the people you want to target. Save the good stuff for people that you're actually speaking to. So more promotional items that are a little bit more expensive, you're having these conversations, keep on the side. Don't lay them out. You see that all the time. We've come across those people. Even like a pen, everybody's like looking for the pens. I mean, come on. How many pens are you going to have? So trade shows, I mean, possibly a few hundred, depending on the one that you're doing, to even, you know, exceed 1,000, 2,000 people at times, you know. A lot of conversations, a lot of business cards. Here's the thing with the trade shows, though. If you don't follow up, you just wasted your time. You wasted your time, you wasted your money. Because a lot of times we've come across people that are so gun-ho right at that moment, and you try to capture them and, you know, have those conversations immediately afterwards. If you don't, you're missing them, you know, you're missing that opportunity. So good question, though. Good question. How are we looking with time? Oh, we're over time. Man, this goes fast. What else can I leave you with when it comes to lead gen? Unless there's another question. At the end of the day, you need to have a game plan with lead gen. As an agency, we're actively changing up our routine and our strategies. Right now, we have multiple lead gen efforts in place. You want to be proactive. I spoke mostly when it came to lead gen. I focused mainly on social today and some email marketing because that's important. And two areas have been very effective for us when it comes to email marketing and when it comes to LinkedIn, to be honest. But you cannot deny the power of Google. So I'll leave you with that. You need to have a presence there. That's a separate conversation. We might have talked about it in the past. If you don't have a presence there, you're basically losing out on all of those opportunities on a monthly basis that are coming in for those keyword phrases, active searchers that are looking for what you do, and basically you're giving that business away to your competitors. So you wanna have that Google presence. But again, I'll close with that. A lead gen campaign, extremely important. If you have questions on it, you want more information, you want to maybe find out what may work best for you, send me a message. That's it. Send me a message. Would be happy to discuss further, give you a quick assessment. But thank you for tuning in. Time is up today. Next week, we'll talk about something else. I'm not sure at the moment what that topic will be. But tune in next week, 12:30. We're going live once again, dropping knowledge and giving everybody an edge in their marketing game. All right? So, hope you learned something. See you next week.